That night begins quietly, the kind of quiet that feels too deep. The ranch sleeps under a thin layer of moonlight, fences glowing pale and the pasture moving slowly with the wind. Amy is the first to notice something feels wrong. It is not a sound, not a shadow, but a feeling that settles in her chest. When she steps into the barn early in the morning, the horses lift their heads at once. Their eyes are alert, not calm like usual. One of them paws the ground, another shifts away from the stall door. Amy moves closer, running her hand along a familiar neck and freezes. The horse is still warm, breathing faster than it should be. The saddle rack is untouched, the tack clean and dry, but the horse tells a different story. This animal has been worked hard late, when no one was watching. As the sun comes up, the signs become harder to ignore. Fresh dirt clings to hooves that were clean the night before. There are faint marks along the horses' backs, the kind left by a rider who knows balance and control. Amy walks the fence line slowly, her eyes scanning the ground. Near the edge of the pasture, the grass is pressed down, bent in a narrow path that leads toward the trees. Not the usual trail, not a place anyone rides during the day. Jack joins her, his face tight as he studies the ground. He does not speak at first. He just kneels, touching the dirt with 2 fingers. This is not a prank. This is not a kid sneaking a ride. Whoever did this came prepared, came quietly, and left without a trace. The ranch starts to feel different as the day goes on. Horses that are usually calm refuse to settle. One spooks at nothing, another keeps looking toward the woods as if expecting someone to return. Amy tries to work with them, speaking softly, but her focus keeps slipping. She knows horses. She knows fear. And this is not fear. This is awareness. The horses are alert in a way that feels shared, like they all know the same secret. Lou wants answers, practical ones. She talks about locks and lights and calling someone to check the fences. Jack listens but says little. He has lived too long on this land to ignore patterns. Heartland has rules, and one of them has been broken. By nightfall, the unease settles in deeper. The stars come out, sharp and cold, and the ranch goes quiet again. Amy stands at her window, looking out over the pasture. The horses are still, lined up near the far fence as if waiting. A breeze moves through the grass, and for a brief moment, she thinks she hears it, hooves, slow. Careful, then nothing. No shape, no rider, no proof. Just the feeling that someone is out there watching, waiting for the right moment to ride again. Whatever is happening at Heartland did not start this night, and it will not end quietly. By the second night, the signs are impossible to deny. Amy notices it before anyone else says a word. The horses are tense before sunset, shifting their weight, ears turning toward the trees as if they can sense what is coming. One horse refuses to eat, another keeps pacing the fence line. These are not small changes. These are warnings. Amy walks slowly among them, her hand brushing against familiar coats, trying to calm them the way she always has. But this time, something feels different. The horses are not afraid of the night. They are alert, like they are waiting for someone they recognize but do not fully trust. The next morning brings more clues. Jack finds fresh hoof prints near the far edge of the property, deeper than normal, pressed into the soft ground where no one rides during the day. They move in a clean line, not rushed, not wild. Whoever made them knew how to ride without leaving chaos behind. Lou checks the gates again and again, but none are broken. No locks are forced. Nothing is missing. That is what scares her the most. This is not someone breaking in. This is someone slipping through without resistance, like they belong there. Amy starts to notice changes in the horses during training. One horse that used to fight the bit now lowers its head calmly. Another that struggled with balance suddenly moves smoother, lighter on its feet. These should be good signs, but the timing feels wrong. Improvement should come with work, with patience, with trust built over time, not overnight. Amy feels torn. Part of her is relieved to see the horses calmer. Another part feels uneasy, like she is sharing their care with someone she cannot see. Whispers begin to spread, quiet ones at first. A ranch hand mentions seeing movement near the tree line late at night. A neighbor talks about hearing hooves long after midnight. No one has proof, just pieces of the same story told in different voices. The name comes slowly, almost as a joke at first. The Midnight Rider, Lou does not like it. Giving it a name makes it real. Jack stays quiet when he hears it, his expression unreadable. He has seen enough years to know that land remembers people, even after they are gone. Amy walks the pasture alone one evening, following the bent grass toward the woods. The air feels heavy, thick with silence. She stops where the trees begin, her heart beating faster than she wants to admit. This place has always felt safe to her. Now it feels watched. She kneels and touches the ground, closing her eyes for a moment. She tries to feel what the horses feel. There is no anger here, no pain. Just movement, purpose, and something close to relief. That night, the horses do not return restless. They return calm to calm. Their breathing is steady, their eyes soft. Amy checks them carefully, expecting to find signs of strain or fear. Instead, she finds balance. Whatever happened out there did not harm them. It helped them. That truth makes the mystery heavier, not lighter. Because now Amy knows this is not about theft or danger. This is about connection. Someone out there understands these horses deeply enough to ride them without breaking trust. As Amy stands in the barn, listening to the slow rhythm of breathing and the quiet sounds of sleep, she realizes the real danger may not be the rider. The real danger may be what happens when the truth comes out. If this person is helping the horses, exposing them could destroy something fragile. But letting it continue could put everyone at risk. Heartland has always been a place of healing, but healing often comes with secrets. And some secrets refuse to stay buried, no matter how quietly they move through the night. The name spreads faster than the truth. By the third night, people are no longer just whispering about strange signs or restless horses. They are talking about the Midnight Rider like it is a real person, not just a shadow slipping through the dark. Some say it is a thief testing the ranch, waiting for the right moment to take a horse and disappear. Others believe it is someone from the past, someone who once belonged at Heartland and never truly left. The stories change depending on who tells them, but they all circle the same fear. Someone is out there, moving through the ranch when no one should be awake. Jack listens to these stories in silence. He has heard rumors like this before, not just here but on other ranches long ago. Land holds memory, and when something unsettled returns, people often dress it up as a legend. One evening, as the sky turns dark and the stars begin to show, Jack finally speaks. He talks about a rider from years ago, someone who used to train horses only at night. That rider believed horses opened up more in the quiet when the world stopped pushing them. The story does not have a clear ending. The rider left, or maybe disappeared. No one ever knew for sure. Amy listens closely, feeling a chill settle over her. The details feel too close to what is happening now. Suspicion begins to creep into places it does not belong. Ranch hands look at each other differently. Neighbors are questioned without answers. Lou worries about safety and liability. About what happens if someone gets hurt or if a horse is lost. She wants rules, boundaries, and certainty. Amy wants understanding. She watches the horses closely, noticing how their bodies soften when night comes. How they drift toward the far pasture instead of the barn. It is as if they are choosing where they want to be when the darkness arrives. What troubles Amy most is not the riding itself, but the way the horses respond to it. There is no sign of fear, no tension in their muscles. When she works with them during the day, they move with a quiet focus she has struggled to achieve for weeks. One horse that once flinched at sudden movement now stands steady. Another that resisted connection now meets her eyes without pulling away. These are signs of trust, not trauma. Whoever the rider is, they understand something deeply personal about these animals. Late one night, Amy cannot sleep. The house is still, the kind of stillness that makes every small sound feel loud. She steps outside, wrapping her jacket tighter as the cool air settles around her. From the porch, she watches the pasture. The moon hangs low, casting long shadows that stretch across the grass. For a moment, she thinks she sees movement near the tree line. A shape, tall and narrow, gone as quickly as it appears. Her heart races, but her instincts tell her not to call out. Not yet. The horses shift as one, lifting their heads, ears forward. They are not startled. They are aware. Amy feels it then, a strange pull in her chest, like the land itself is holding its breath. This is not chaos. This is routine. Whatever happens at night has been happening long enough for the horses to accept it as normal. That realization shakes her more than any rumor. Because if this rider has been coming for weeks, maybe longer, then the truth is not just hidden. It is protected. Jack's words echo in her mind. Some riders do not ride for money or pride. They ride because it is the only place they feel whole. Amy wonders if the Midnight Rider is someone broken. Someone healing in the same quiet way the horses are. But legends have a cost. Once a story grows, it stops belonging to the person who lived it. Amy knows that if this continues, fear will replace curiosity, and protection will turn into confrontation. Standing there in the dark, watching shadows move and settle, Amy understands that the ranch is no longer just dealing with a mystery. It is dealing with a choice. To chase the rider and force the truth into the light, or to listen to the horses and trust that not every secret is meant to be exposed right away. Either way, Heartland will not remain the same once the Midnight Rider is finally seen. Amy stops waiting for answers and decides to look for them herself. The uncertainty has started to weigh on her, pressing into every quiet moment of the day. She knows the horses will not tell her everything, but they will guide her if she listens closely enough. As night approaches, she makes a choice she has never made before at Heartland. She does not lock up early. She does not turn off every light. Instead, she lets the ranch breathe naturally as if nothing is wrong. While she stays awake and alert, she prepares carefully, moving through the house without waking anyone. A jacket, boots, and a small flashlight she hopes she will not need. Amy steps outside just before midnight, the air cold and clear. The sky is wide, filled with stars that seem sharper at this hour. From the shadows near the barn, she watches the pasture. The horses are restless but calm, shifting slowly, waiting. Amy positions herself where she can see without being seen. Her heart beating louder than she would like, time stretches. Minutes feel like hours. Every sound makes her tense. A branch snapping in the distance. The soft rustle of grass. Then it happens. A shape moves near the fence, smooth and quiet. The gate does not creak. It does not slam. It opens like hands have touched it 100 times before. Amy's breath catches as a figure steps into the pasture. The rider is dressed dark, face hidden, movement steady and confident. There is no rush, no fear. This is someone who belongs in the dark. Amy watches as one horse steps forward willingly. There is no struggle, no need to pull or force. The rider mounts with ease, settling into the saddle like it is an old memory. The horse moves out smoothly, hooves barely making a sound as they head toward the tree line. Amy follows at a distance, careful with every step, using shadows for cover. Her pulse races, but her mind stays focused. She needs to see where they go. At the edge of the woods, the rider pauses. For a moment, Amy thinks she has been noticed. She freezes, barely breathing. But the rider only looks ahead, then disappears into the trees. Amy reaches the edge seconds later, but the path is gone. The forest swallows sound and movement, leaving only stillness behind. She stands there, shaken, frustrated, and strangely moved when the horse returns later, alone. It is calmer than Amy has ever seen it. Its breathing is slow. Its eyes are soft. There is no sign of stress, no sweat from hard riding. Whatever happened in the woods was not rough. It was careful, intentional. Amy runs her hand along the horse's neck, searching for answers she cannot hear. The horse leans into her touch, a quiet sign of trust that feels like a message. Back in the barn, Amy sits on a bale of hay, trying to steady her thoughts. She has seen the Midnight Rider with her own eyes, and yet the mystery feels deeper than before. This is not a threat she can chase away. This is someone with purpose, someone who knows these horses in a way that almost matches her own. The realization stirs something uneasy inside her. If she confronts the rider, she could break the balance that has helped the horses heal. If she stays silent, she risks losing control of her own ranch. As the night fades toward morning, Amy understands she has crossed a line. She is no longer just reacting. She is involved. Whatever happens next will be shaped by the choice she makes now. The Midnight Rider is real, and the bond between rider and horse is stronger than fear. Heartland stands on the edge of a truth that cannot stay hidden much longer, and Amy knows she will be the one force to bring it into the light. The more Amy thinks about what she saw, the more the pieces begin to line up in her mind. It is not just about someone riding at night. It is about why the horses allow it. Horses do not lie. They do not pretend to trust. If they accept a rider, it is because something inside them feels safe. That truth settles heavily on Amy's chest as she watches them move through the pasture the next day. Calmer, more balanced, almost lighter than before. This kind of change does not come from force. It comes from understanding. Amy starts looking back, replaying small moments she once ignored. Horses that used to resist certain trails now move toward the woods without fear. A mare that flinched at raised voices no longer reacts the same way. These are not random changes. They are responses to someone who rides with patience, someone who listens instead of commands. Amy realizes the Midnight Rider is not teaching the horses new skills. They are helping them release something old, something heavy that never fully healed. Jack notices it too, even if he does not say it right away. One evening, he stands beside Amy at the fence, watching the horses graze quietly. He tells her that long ago, there were riders who believed horses healed people just as much as people healed horses. Riders who came to the land broken and left it changed. Some stayed, some disappeared. Amy hears the weight behind his words. This is not just history. It is a warning and a reminder at the same time. What shakes Amy the most is the feeling that the rider is carrying pain of their own. Pain the horses recognize. Horses are drawn to honesty, especially the kind that comes from loss. Amy begins to wonder if the Midnight Rider is someone who once depended on Heartland for healing and lost it. or someone who never got the chance to heal in the light of day. Riding at night is not about hiding. It is about safety. It is about being unseen while learning how to breathe again. Amy faces a truth she does not want to admit. If she exposes the rider, the healing could stop. The horses might lose the quiet balance they have found. But if she protects the rider, she becomes part of the secret. That choice weighs on her more than any risk to the ranch. Heartland has always been about second chances, but second chances come with responsibility. Not everyone is ready to be seen when they are still putting themselves back together. The horses make their choice clear before Amy can make hers. One evening, as she works with a younger horse that once refused connection, the animal lowers its head and steps closer without hesitation. The trust is complete. Amy feels tears rise, not from sadness, but from understanding. This is what the Midnight Rider gives them. Not control, not escape, peace. Amy realizes then that the real shock is not who the rider is, but what they represent. They are a mirror, a reminder that healing does not follow rules or schedules. It comes when it is allowed, when the world is quiet enough to listen. Heartland has always been a place where broken things find their way back to whole. The Midnight Rider is proof that the ranch's power reaches further than anyone realized. As night falls again, Amy looks toward the trees, no longer with fear, but with respect. She knows the truth will surface soon. Secrets always do. But when it does, it must be handled with care. Because once the rider is revealed, there will be no shadows left to protect them. And some wounds, once exposed too early, take longer to heal than those tended quietly in the dark. The truth does not arrive all at once. It comes slowly, like dawn creeping over the hills, soft but impossible to stop. Amy knows who the Midnight Rider is before the face is ever fully seen. The signs have been there in the way the horses respond, in the familiar rhythm of the riding, in the care taken to leave no harm behind. When the moment finally comes, it is quiet, without drama or shouting. Just two people standing in the early morning light while the ranch wakes around them.